If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
How are you?
Yeah, Jai, sorry, let other people join. So meanwhile, can you just show me how did you create that test tab yesterday?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so basically what we need to do is we need to manage. So generally what we do is like in the core admin, you can do in there. And or if you want like here, if you see this here, you can add here also. So you add new tab. Like, so generally, like, as I said, right, this option is that for settings. And here, if you click on it and you coming here, tab set options here, add new tab. So once you click
Okay.
on this tab, so your new tab, so you can give the name of your tab, anything like testing tab or something like that. So that you can give in here. Okay. And then you can you can pull all the information, whatever information you want to see on that particular tab. So from here, you can see this. Now, if you drag any, for example, I drag calendar. So it will come here like, so you can keep it here, this side or this side. So this is like user interface, like where you want to keep
Understood.
Yeah. So this is how you can, so it's a like easy process. So these are the like, we can say like, the functionality is being provided to every user, like they can do these things, they can perform this activity. So for example, I add action tiles, so these are your tiles coming in here. And if you want to add some my documents, so my documents are coming. So this way, whatever information you are looking for on a particular page, you can like on a particular tab, so you can add that tab.
Understood. Fine.
Right. Okay, let me know guys, like if any concerns are there. I can like we'll start the session today. Okay. And first of all, I good morning, and I'll just ask like if you guys have any doubts, any queries, any questions from the previous session. Anyone have any questions, any doubts? So please feel free to ask, and I'll try to like answer them as much as possible from my side.
Yeah, Jay, Vinayak here. Actually, we did not get the system to practice on that. Yeah, so we are waiting for the system access.
Okay. That's fine. So like from other perspective, we see like, so the basic idea that we have discussed yesterday from the Ariba perspective, right? So I hope that was a little clear on that perspective. So like why we are using, what are the objectives of it and all. So the basics of it, at least.
Yes.
Okay. No problem. Let's start for today. Okay. So we are going to start today the supplier request. I think we discussed this one. Yeah, so these are same disclaimers in here. So you can see these things in here. Okay, so how to connect the suppliers? Okay, so supplier managed lists are there. So supplier enablement services are there. Supplier self-nominations are there whenever you are getting the supplier. So you can connect with the supplier. So there are multiple ways to connect, either SLP or you can load the data into the system. There are other aspects also come into the picture, like you need to set up some communication with the supplier. So like there are multiple ways which you will be connecting. So here we will be discussing the SLP. In the SLP, the process that we are going to discuss is the supplier request. So here you can see this match analysis, basically analyze your vendor master lists, determine what are all the suppliers available on the Ariba network. So from this perspective, that as I mentioned right yesterday, that there's an Ariba discovery also is there. So basically like Ariba has put a lot of effort to give you a supply database or to get an easy connection with the suppliers. Okay, so from that perspective, if you see like these are the things that has been introduced by Ariba. Enablement services are there, like you can outreach the suppliers, you can communicate with suppliers. So when I will be showing you here, right, you can, in most of the cases, like for RFIs, RFPs and all, you do not need even your communication channel, like your email, your mobile or phone, like to communicate it. The dashboards, the messaging services are already enabled on the Ariba platform, from via that you can specifically talk to the suppliers also. And all these things will get recorded in there. So understand from that perspective, like for example, someone has negotiated something, someone has done some RFI, RFPs or something, and he communicated something via his own personal email or like say official email. Now that person left the organization. Now in that scenario, it will be hard to find out something on a backdated, right? Like how to find out his emails, where he has done it or he has left the organization. So how to find it out. So from that, all these perspective, the Ariba here provides you kind of an additional, like you can say, some features in there where you can communicate respect to that particular project in that one. So, and that information, that communication will always remain there. So anywhere, like anyone who wants to access that, want to check that in the future course of action, right? So they can always check it because that information will remain there in the system and you can access it anywhere in the world. So same document, same RFI number, RFP number, or something like these things, the supplier request and all, whatever information you are seeing here in region, this region, you can check the same in the US. For example, you are deployed tomorrow in the New Zealand or some other country, right? Like that way. So in that scenario, what will happen is the same system you are accessing here, the same system you can access there. The same information that you are able to see in here, you can access in there also. So that is the benefit of it. So data latency is not there, like you can access the same data anywhere in the world. So these kind of some enablement and all outreach communication has been provided by this one. There are some, this one, nomination for the buyer, supplier, self-nominations are there. So all these things will be there in this one. So here to how to request a new supplier. So on dashboard, so these are the same thing that I'm going to present, like I will be showing you on the tool. So it's just given in here. So you can see these things in here, like create supplier request, choose the suppliers, potential suppliers list incoming in here, perform these things to submit the request, choose submit and all. So these things I will be showing you there in the system. Okay, so from there it will be easy to understand because when you see the system directly on like on the portal, it will be easy to relate and all. Okay, so here you can see this is the one that I was mentioning, right? Ariba Discovery. So it's for business matchmaking kind of. Okay, so where you can find the required all whatever the required suppliers you are looking for. So you can search based on the commodity, the categories we refer to. So which based on that you can search it. The supplier really into the IT related categories or like chemicals or agriculture or some whatever the categories he deals in. Based on that you can do that. Okay, so yes, please.
Jay, are these the suppliers listed on a global level? I mean,
Yes. So Ariba Discovery, this Ariba Discovery that I'm referring here, right? This one. So Ariba Discovery is a global platform. It's a Ariba maintained by Ariba, and it's a global platform where all the suppliers anywhere in the world will be like you can find it there. Whoever registered on that platform. So when you search it, so it will not be like limited on based on region. Like there are filters. If you want to select that on a particular region, you can do that. But yes, on a basic level, if you search like a plain search, there will be no filters in there. Then if you run this one search, you will find the suppliers across the globe. Okay, and you can connect with them. So generally, like for example, if I say like sometimes the suppliers are like that way, mainly they have registered their main office, like for example, Singapore. Okay, but they serve globally. They have small branches all over the world. So in that one, what can happen is during search on the Ariba Discovery, you will find that the supplier is from Singapore, but he will be serving in the global location. So you can connect with him, ask him and all, you can discuss these things and you can inform him what is your requirement and can you supply in India region. So if he has the office, he will provide. So now, like, as you know, like most of the times, suppliers are global also. Like if it is a big supplier, small suppliers are different, but if it is a big supplier, so they are globally present everywhere. So they can provide. So they will connect with, they will guide you or they connect you with the local office and all. So they perform and they fulfill their requirement also. So that I'll show you. So this Ariba Discovery, I will be showing you. So all these things we'll discuss. I will be showing you that how the suppliers are coming, filtering and all. So those things I will be showing you in our session. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Now let's create a supplier request. Sorry. Now coming here, this is our Ariba portal. Now, so as I said, right, create, manage, resend. So always when we want to create anything, so we will go for the create option. So here, create in here, and you will find here supply request. Please remember, after click on this create, what are options you are visible here, right? These options will be visible based on the access has been provided to you. Based on the access, or you can say the groups or the roles. Okay, in Ariba, like access, we generally like, so these are groups. in the we can say like in Ariba language, there's a known as group. So for example, I am doing here the sourcing project. So there's a group name like sourcing agent or junior sourcing agent. These are the group name. If I'm part of that group, then only I will be able to perform this. I can see this option in here. Same here, you can see the template. If I'm the part of the template editor group or template creator group, user group and all, then only I will be able to perform this thing. If I'm not part of that group, I will not be able to perform this activity. So this is how you restrict. This is how you restrict someone to do a particular job, only the particular job on Ariba platform. This is how the access works. So for example, if you see something like in the industry, if you are working and if you find out something you are not visible on this, the most probably reason for that is that you have not the authorization, like someone not added you, assigned you in that particular group, which gives you the access to perform that activity. Okay, I'll just quickly show you the group part, not like I'll generally will discuss a little later in the detail, but I'm just quickly showing you that one. So under user manager, you have these groups. So these are the groups, like for example, if I say sourcing. Okay, so you can see junior sourcing agent or not. Okay, so these kind of groups are there, by which these are all Ariba managed system groups. Okay, so these groups you need to be assigned to a particular, then only you will be able to perform that activity. So I'll cover like this thing will be covered a little later. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief like so that you understand like how it is. If something is not visible, so do not panic like something I'm not able to see these things and all. So it's very simple. Either your company haven't bought that module or you haven't have the particular authorization. So that is what generally happens, right? The end users and the implementation team. End users will be given a limited access. They will not be given a full access, right? So only the implementation team, generally implementation team, or you can say the technical team or some other team, those who will be managing your configuration part of Ariba will be given a better access, like more access. Okay, so from that perspective. Now, currently what I'm going to perform is a supplier request. This is, understand, this is from the, sorry, yes, Akshay, please.
Jay, so I just want to know, are these the standard groups or we can create it?
You can also create it, but these are some groups which are provided by Ariba. So I'll explain later on. So basically, like when we talk about groups, so there are two types of groups: project groups and system groups. So I'll explain once I have the, like we have that option also, like when we discuss this core admin part.
Done.
So I will be here. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, so here you can see this create. Here we are coming as a supplier request. So currently what I'm performing here is from an end user perspective. First, I'm showing you like how the end user works on it. Okay. So here I'm going for supplier request. Okay. Now you can see this supplier request form. Here you are getting all this information. So as I mentioned, right, like I think briefly we touched this one yesterday also. Let me refresh that part again. This is the form for a supplier request. Okay, all these things that you are seeing in here in Ariba, we generally refer them as questions. Okay, when we'll discuss the template, I will show you like why these are known as questions, so you will understand from there. Okay. Now, here you can see this. All these questions are editable. You can change these questions. So for example, you do not want this supplier name, you want to delete it, you can delete it, or you want someone else, like something instead of supplier name, you want a vendor name. All these things you can change as per your own requirement. And from where this form is coming? This form is coming from the, sorry, this form is coming from the template. Okay, you need to first set up the template, and then once the template is set up, then you will be able to see the form. Okay, so the logic behind setting up the templates and also that, like whatever you are setting up the template, generally we keep for one template for each process, but yes, for some processes you can keep it multiple templates. But if you keep a simple one, like if you keep a single template for a particular process, right, in that case you will be having a uniformity in your organization. Like all the end users, whoever working on the supplier request, you will always see this form. You can change some of the things in here, but yes, the process perspective, everyone will. Sorry. Okay. So from that perspective, if you see it, right, so it will be like the same across this one. Okay. Now let me fill it. So, okay, I need a volunteer on this one. I will be creating for all of you, but for like now, let me create for one. Okay. As like the system is still not finalized, let's take it for one. Anyone who wants to volunteer for this one, please. I need a person's email ID, and please, the person who do not have a Ariba supplier account. Buyer account is okay, should not be having a supplier account, because you will be receiving the email. Like basically the main concern here is I need the email ID, because I want to show you the process of onboarding, like how the supplier receives the invitation, how supplier register on the portal and all. So that's why I need the email ID. So I'm not sure like okay, so in the meantime, I'll like, so who wants to go? Anyways, like who wants to go? Like who will volunteer for this one? Anyone?
Yes, Jay, you can take it up, Pavan, supply.
Pavan, okay. Okay, thank you, Pavan. So here I will go like Pavan, private, unlimited. So this is all sample data. Like, please do not take mind of something if I'm writing wrong spelling or something, because this is all testing. We are doing it for testing. Okay. I hope this spelling is correct of your name.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just copying in here. First name, I'll just write Pavan. Can I put like Kumar or something? Kumar. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let me share something from my perspective first, then we can take all this. Okay, so let me put it here.
Jay, why do we have to open the email? Maybe we will receive one email from this SAP Ariba, so we just have to confirm it over the mobile. So do we have to open it over the desktop?
Yeah, so basically I just want to, so like, see, there will be a link will be coming in that email. Okay, so if you have that, open the email, you need to just click on it and it will redirect you to on this page, that the one I'm referring, right? Supply dot. So I just want to show you, like, okay, so I'll do it from my side and I'll show you. Okay.
Sorry to disturb you.
Okay, let me first, what I do is first I will do this. I will show you from my ID. Okay. And then we'll take up one by one, all of you, because I need all of you to be on the portal once we have this thing cleared. Okay. So that you can participate, because it's just not used for here. This is a one time. Okay. Not just a one time. In the future, we will be doing the sourcings, right? Contract management and all. So we need it like for conducting RFPs, auctions, all those things. I need you to participate so that you get to know the complete cycle, like how the buyer is working, how the supplier is working, so that it will be a complete cycle. So that's the objective, to get you familiar with the system also. Okay. So for now, let me do this for my perspective. Okay, supplier name, I'll just put like Jay Kumar. Sorry. KUMAR 38, sorry, 34, 38 private limited. Okay. I'll just put this one here, control copy in here. So Jay Kumar, here I'll just put gmail.com. Sorry, 34. Okay. Now, so here I'm just putting some. So as I said, mentioned, right? So these all fields are configurable. Please understand the process here, right? Because these questions will always be changing from each customer. Frankly speaking, I haven't seen two customers are using the same set of questionnaires. These things generally you need to, when you are going as an implementation partner, right? You will be discussing this thing with the client, that what questions you want, what is your criteria for supplier request and all. Okay, internally. So supplier management team, they will be looped into that one. They will be discussing with you, like this is the format and these are the questions that we are looking for when you are raising a supplier request. We need these informations. So these things generally will be always be specific to the customer. to whom you are like implementing or working on it specifically. Okay. Based on that, they will be setting up all these things. So here, like we have created some samples here. Okay. So I'm just putting straight, like I'll put like lane 5, street number 8. I'm just randomly giving something here. Block F, city, I'll say Bangalore. Let's put here 53001. Country, I'll just put India. And here I'll put the region is Karnataka. Okay. So this is all random. I'm just putting something in here. So no need for contact number and categories and regions. So these things are there. If you want to put any information on this, like up to you. Okay. And remember, so here we can mention these. So here you can see this some asterisk marks. So asterisk mark here, which refers that these questions you can mention, you can set up these questions as mandatory. Up to you. If you want some question to be mandatory, that needs to be filled. So for example, if I show you, if I do not put this, okay, so here you can see this, the field is required. The system will not allow me to submit my form. It will say here, this is an entry missing, but that will not happen for other because those are not mandatory. If I miss something in here, it's like that way. So these things, understand here, the process of the supplier request is that you have a very basic information. Like yesterday we discussed, right? You met someone, you get the basic information of it, contact number, emails and all that is there. And you can put, like you can have your one more section here, which you will be brief about the supplier. So you can mention in that one, like the supplier belongs to this category and looks a good supplier. Can we initiate the onboarding of it? So that once you are sending this requirement to the supplier, your internal supplier team, okay, so they will say, okay, this is how these this is why these like the person who's raising this request try to onboard this one because they met the supplier in here, exhibition and all looks good. Okay, so that is the process here. You can do it. So you can add any question based on that. You want to analyze the supplier on a very first level, internally first. Okay, so any question that you want to put up, you can put it up here. Okay, that so, template. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay. So what happens if we keep the agreed payment terms no? So is there any difference? See, if we keep it no, we can change the payment terms later.
Yes. So understand here, there are two things in here happens. One is, if you see this, these questions that you are creating, right? These questions are just a question. Okay, there are another parameter comes that where you can map your question to the static fields in the Ariba. Basically, whatever the information that you are going to fetch in here, that will get stored in your some database. These questions that we have created right now here, these are simple questions. They are not getting stored or linked with any of the metrics which are there in the Ariba as of now. Okay, that is more on comes when you have some integration. You can have some field matrices, and where you can like map the fields. So whatever the data which is coming from there, it will go in and reside in that. For example, like ERP system is there, right? Your system is integrated with ERP system. This supplier, right? Okay, you are putting this supplier name in here. Now, when you sending this request to the supplier after the registration, the next step that is registration, supplier changed this name. He said, sir, my name got changed. It is now Jaykumar 38 LLP, not private limited. I changed my company to LLP, limited liability partnership. Okay, so that update will only happen in your system if that field is mapped with your matrix of the supplier name. Okay, so that is how these things works in the integration perspective. So
you mean to say these are the dynamic fields, we can change it later, or the supplier can change it later?
No, supplier can fill these things in here. These things what we are asking, these are the things that we are setting up in here, but these information can be filled up by the supplier. No, I'm not referring for this one. This is an internal process. I'm referring the similar type of form will come when we go the next step, that is registration.
Okay.
So just give me some time. So once we do it, like in the process, you will understand. Even though when we discuss the template, I can show you there like how these things work. Sure. So I think Yeah, there will be there, because these generally been controlled from the template level. Majorly these things are controlled from the template level. Okay. Now, so yes, please.
What is the DUNS number refer for in this
Okay.
particular form?
Yeah, so basically, actually, DUNS number is a US number. If you see this, right? This is DUNS and BRAT number is there. There is a what you can say, some standard that US maintains generally.
Okay, it's related to VAT, which we follow in India.
So,
Similar type of stuff, or
so frankly speaking, like I have never been to US, so
no,
this
no,
is
no.
the number.
I'm
Yeah.
just checking. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
so in ERP, we have the DUNS number. So for vendor, he may be supplying the material, and he may be the transport vendor as well.
No,
So
no. So basically,
by
I think,
giving the
see,
DUNS number, we can track that particular one in
see,
our business scenario. So
no. So here, yeah, that understand like from here, but I think DUNS number more is from the registration number here, like when we got
okay.
incorporated, right? See here, you can see this. This is a standard for Ariba. Sorry, like US, you can see this. DUNS universal number is abbreviated this one. So DUNS and BRAT, these are the name like generally identifier refers to DUNS number. So
Okay,
it's not
same
much,
as that.
yeah.
Okay,
So it's
got it,
more
got
of a practice there in the US region, not here like our Indian region. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So let me submit this request. Okay, we have submitted the basic information. Let me submit this. This is an internal process we are performing, right? Here you can see this supplier request form coming in here. Okay, now you can see this. Your supplier request submission is in progress. Once it is complete, you can view the submitted request. Okay, so till now I think everything is clear till now. Okay, done. Let me click on done. Going back to the supplier management. Now, here you can see this. This is my supplier name coming in here and it is in approval. Okay, and you can click on this one. So click. Now here you can see this approve. So why I'm getting approved? Because I'm the part of this group. Again, this approval flow that you are seeing in here. Okay, this approval flow which you are seeing in here is completely configurable. You can configure it as per your requirement, basically as per customer's requirement. Okay, and you can configure it and you can design as per the like if you have multiple conditions in here, all those things you can put up in here, and these things being controlled again from the template. Okay, so now you can see this approve request is coming in here, supplier name, requested by, and requested on. You have the approve option. You can deny this. So the team, internal team of yours can deny this also. Like supplier management team says, no, we do not want one more supplier. We already have a lot of supplier which deals into these kind of things. We do not want this supplier. They can deny this request. Okay. Any additional requirement is required. So they can also request additional info. Okay. So this how you will be seeing in here, and you can see this, all the questions that you have submitted, like it is visible here. So understand, like I am adding myself here because so that I can show you the complete cycle. But generally the process is like end user will be submitting it and it will be viewed and reviewed by someone from the other team, the supplier management team or the vendor master team, someone there. So they will be reviewing this one. For the purpose of showing you, I have added my name in here in the approval flow. Okay. So this is how you can do it. Now let me approve this. Okay.
Jay, one more thing.
Yeah.
There is one more setting tab is there, right? After
Sorry,
the request additional info.
This one. So this will take you to the project. So the main project that we create. So the template perspective, the project is as we have created, right? It will take you to there. Okay, let me click on this one. I'll show you. Here, you can see this. This is the project type. So here's overview. Okay, here is your document that you filled it up, supply request form. This is your task for approval. So these things actually, this is, I'll show you that when we discuss the template, because this is the part, like you can say like, this is the main part of template, as well as similar architecture is there for the projects and all those things. So I will be explaining these things like what is overview, what is how the documents, how you create these documents from here and all, how the task works and what is the meaning of task, what task you can create and all. So these things will be covered. Just give me some time. I'll like
Okay.
come on this one. I'll explain these things. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So coming back here on the approval. Viewing here. Okay, so here I'm going to approve this. I can mention the reason. Okay, looks good, something like that. So any, like, you can give a free, it's a free text and confirm. So let me just refresh this. So approved. So you can see this, it got green. So request created, approval for supply, and new supply created. Here, all the comments which has been provided by the approver, you will be seeing in here. Okay, looks good. Now, done. Let me just refresh it one more time. Let me open it. Just refreshing it. So this is a demo system. So like it sometimes like work a little slow. So that's a system perspective. Let me now, so you can see this, it's approved. So click in here. Now here, this is the view supplier profile. So once I click on this view supplier profile, the next page which will be opened will be the 360-degree profile view of a supplier. So let me write it quickly if I just mention this one. So generally, this is the terminology people use in the, you can say like in the Ariba language, that 360-degree supplier profile view. This is what we refer. Okay, the next I'm going to open. So, and even if you say this, like sometimes people say like, what is the major difference? So you can say like in the SLP side, you can have a supplier's 360-degree view, rather than if you are not using SLP, the supplier data will not be from that perspective. Okay, so here, if I go back in this one, so view supplier profile, let me click on it. Yes, this is your supplier created. So this is your 360-degree supplier profile view. I will explain one by one everything. First of all, if you see in here, this is your name, the Jay Kumar 38 Private Limited company name. And here you can see this SM vendor ID. Okay, so SM vendor ID is basically like SM here reference that supplier management. Okay, SM here reference that SM vendor ID means supplier management vendor ID. And this number is alphanumeric number. Alphanumeric, like the first is the alphabetic number and this is all your numeric number. This number, we do not have any control over it. This is like generated by system itself. Okay, as soon as you create the supplier in the system, this gets generated automatically in the system. It is system driven, you can say. Okay, this is the unique, like you can say like we have created this from the SM supplier management. That's why this number is coming here. Now, on the right hand side, you can see the, okay, about before this, you can see this, whatever the information I put it, email ID and also, and my address and all those things are coming in here. The basic informations you can see in here, and okay, and here you can see the in the about. So please pay attention here. This is the most important. I'll request everyone to please remember this registration status. This is very important, and because this is going to be used and this will be going to referred in the future also in our coming sessions. What happens is when you create the supplier status remains as not invited. This is the very first status, the registration status, not invited. Okay, once we initiate the registration process for the supplier, it will change from not invited to inviting in progress and then invited. Once you get this response from the supplier for registration, it will be in approval. And later on, it will be for registered and qualified. That way, it will be registered and then qualified. So this status will keep on changing, and lot of configuration setting depends on the status what is set up in here for a supplier. So this will be keep on changing. Please like take it little in the back of your mind, so that if it is coming in the future, so you can understand like from where it is coming, what is the significance, Okay, this is how it is going to be impacting the course of any process which we will be discussing. Okay, so registration status is like there are multiple statuses, like first is not invited, then invite in progress, then invited, then pending approval, then register. Okay, so these things will be coming in here. Then you can have the preferred status if you want to set up a particular supplier to be preferred for a particular category, region and all. So you will be setting up it later. Same the qualification, if you want to set up some qualification, like you want to qualify the supplier for a particular category, region or commodities and all, so you can do that also. So these things will be coming, but these things will come only after. You can see this, the qualification tab is not reflecting here. It will only reflect here once your registration process will get complete. Registration process completion means that the supplier will be a registered supplier. You will only see the qualification tab here. It will come here later on, only after once the supplier is qualified. Sorry, once the supplier is registered, because you can start the qualification process only for the registered supplier. Okay, so these are some small things, like, so why I'm mentioning these things in a more detail, right? Because these are small things which when you are discussing with the clients and all, right, so they can ask these kind of questions in the workshops and that we have with the clients and all, right? So these people ask these kind of questions, so because we will be showing them this system, so they ask these kind of questions, how we can do it, the cross, like they ask like what is the how you can perform this one, whether this can be possible or not, can we skip the registration process, can we directly go for qualification, can we skip the request process. So these things are not like it will happen in this manner only. If you try to skip something and all, it will not work in that manner. Okay, same, you can see this ERP integration is in process. So if your system is integrated, it will get processed. If it is not integrated, it will generally stuck in this kind of in process status. Okay, also I will be showing you from the integration perspective here that if you want to automate your integration cycle, so how you, so based on this one, like when the supplier registration status, at what level of the registration status you will be starting your integration phase. I will be showing you that one also. Okay, then here you can see this supplier IDs, this section. In here, in this section, you can see the same SM vendor ID which you are seeing in here. Okay, now here comes the ERP ID. Understand this one, guys, please. Here, when you are creating the supplier and the supplier is not integrated, system generates by default this VDR ID under this ERP ID tab. It's a functionality. Okay, but if your system is integrated, as soon as your system sync with your ERP system, this ID will get replaced with your ERP ID. So the ERP ID in the sense, the ID which is got generated by your ERP system. So I hope everyone knows, like when we talk about the ERP system, right? ERP system is your, what you can say this, HANA and all those things, right? So in that way, in that system, when you generate a supplier, the ID of the supplier, vendor ID is generally all a numeric number. So that numeric number will completely replace this VDR ID. This is the functionality. If your system is integrated, if not, the system generates some VDR ID by default in here.
Jay, can you give an example on this?
Okay, so for example, if I say, okay, let me quickly manage, just a second. Go ahead, let me just quickly go in there. If I go for supplier manager, suppliers in here. Okay, if I put here, so if I put any supply, let me just search. Okay, a lot of suppliers are there, but okay, I think I can see here maybe if I can find out some. or maybe if I have some file in here in the downloads, let me just quickly see this. So supplier. Okay, let me open this supplier export quickly. Okay, here it is. If you see here, this is some export. This is the extracts of like you can say some Ariba. Okay, I have done it. Here you can see this ERP vendor ID.
Right.
Here you can see this VDR ID. Wherever you will see this, wherever the source system is SM. So this file reference, this is your header fields. And if you see this source system is SM. SM means supplier management. Like what is the source of truth? Like where the supplier got created. Is it created via SAP source system or SM source system? SM means from our side, like in our Ariba system, supplier management. And here the source system is SAP. Okay, so SAP, like it's created in the ERP. So when you are creating in the ERP, obviously this ERP ID will get it generated first there, and then it will be moving in here. Okay, so this is how you can see this. Like this ID will get replaced by this number, ERP ID. Okay, so wherever you can see this, which is the system which is integrated with SAP. Okay, so you will be finding out that there's no ERP ID, instead of there's a this ID. So this ID is nothing but your actual ERP ID. Like whatever the system is there at the backend side, any ERP system, could be anyone. Okay, and from there it is coming there.
Okay, you may know the ERP number 3902. So
Right,
that will be removed with the
No. So for example, earlier it was a VDR ID here. Okay.
No. Earlier, the ERP number is 3902.
Yes.
Okay. And in the Ariba, VDR number got generated, right?
Okay, let me come back in here. Sorry, let me go in here just a second. Supplier management. If I go in here, supplier management, yes. Sorry. View in here. View supplier profile. No. So here you can see this SM vendor ID. Okay. So for example, what happens is, let me explain in here. So for first, so initially when you created a supplier in SM, right, in supplier management, SLP basically. Okay. So ERP ID was generated as your VDR some number like this. Okay. Once your system got integrated, once your system got connected with your ERP system and it started the synchronization of the data, this ID get replaced, like this ID got deleted, and actual ERP ID, for example, 8888, will get updated under this ERP ID section here. Okay. So this is what happens is, basically what happens is, when you having your system here, like when you created this ERP, when you created a vendor here in SM, it having some VDR ID. Okay. When you have the synchronization, this data,
on what basis it will replace that one?
So because see, this field is for prepared for ERP ID only. This is the design, like, so you can say like this is the design and this is the logic built by the Ariba at the backend level, that it will pick the ERP ID if your system is integrated from the ERP system.
No. Our SAP ID linked with this registration vendor ID, right?
Yes,
so
this ERP ID. No, this ERP ID. Okay, what basis you are saying that? So when you are pushing this data, okay, so what is your source of system, source of truth? This Ariba system, right? Now, what I'm saying is, I'm pushing this data. I'm pushing this data from Ariba. This data will create a supplier. This data, when it get pushed from the Ariba system to the ERP system, a supplier, this same supplier will get created in the ERP system. So all the other information will remain same, and most of the things, and system will generate its own ERP ID. Okay, that ERP ID which will be generated when we are pushing this data, that ID will come back as a response and replace this here, and it will get updated here.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. Right. Yeah. This is how it was. So it's like you can say like someone is giving you some parcel, you are acknowledging that, signing that, and giving some, yes, I have received it. So you are giving your name in it, who received it. Like that way. So this is how the system communicates, like you are sending something, coming back and getting updated.
So Jay, do you push this manually, or it's done automatically via batch job or something?
Right. Very
Every
good
time?
question.
Yeah.
Absolutely very good question here. Just give me some time. I will be showing you that how exactly we do the synchronization of the data. Okay. I will be covering up, and in that one, this will play a important role. This is the field which will trigger the synchronization of the data. So please remember this one. I will be showing you that. Okay.
Can this synchronization be done if the vendor is created in SAP?
Yes, so you can also, like, there's a BAPI and there's some RFC calls are there. So if you put it something there at that side, you can push from there also. So as I said, right, SLP communicate bi-directional. Okay, Ariba and SAP have a bi-directional communication. So if you have something in there, you can configure at their side. Maybe like in the SS6, you can configure something, make some BAPI or some programs in there. Those will pull up and they will do a batch jobs and all. Run it on a daily basis, on 24-hour basis, and push the data from ERP to Ariba also.
So in that case, this registration form, etc., will not be there in Ariba.
Yes, it will be coming only on the request, like the forms and all those things will not be. It will be taken care only for a particular data, like it will be coming in a particular data, and basic informations get generated, like this supplier and all. So this basic information will get, like, so you need to find it out what fields you are mapping. What fields you are mapping. So for example, when you are pushing the data from ERP side, you are pushing 10 fields. One is name, one is email ID, one is contact number, one is ERP ID, one is vendor. The same 10 fields which you are pushing, you are mapping where in Ariba to which fields. Okay, you need to, that is where we come the integration and all those things. So once you integrate that one, the data will reside in there, and once the data is there, it will reflect here like this. Okay, so that is more on an integration perspective. I'll say like that is more on a integration perspective. The middleware team needs to take care of it, and accordingly they need to design the CXMLs and all to map all those parts.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome. Now, here you can see this common ID. Remember one more logic. This is very important. Whenever you create a supplier in Ariba, basically it becomes first as a common supplier. I'll write it down in here. This is a logic, like people will definitely ask you, like, so you guys are all experienced, right? But generally the people who are very fresher to the Ariba, we generally mention them like common supplier and partition data. Sorry, partition supplier, like you can mention like this. So these are the two, like you can say, 2 points or 2 features or 2 functionalities are there that needs to be there in the system. Common supplier and partition. So whenever you are creating the supplier first time, it will be by default comes as a common supplier. We refer them as this is a common supplier. Later on, you need to have the partition supplier for the same. I will be covering up this one also. I will be showing you. Okay. So this is how what is the significance of partition supplier and all, how this works. I will be showing you that. Just give me some time. Like slowly we are moving on that one. I'll explain these things in there. Okay. These are important because on this one, a lot of things depend. The usage of the supplier, upstream, downstream side, and how the supplier you will be able to search it. People get errors. They are not able to find the supplier. They are not able to use the supplier in downstream. The supplier is not visible and all. So those perspective, these things comes into the picture. I will be showing you this one also. Okay. Now, here, now very important coming another one is ANID. Sorry, I'm just writing this ANID here. This is the ANID is the ID, which is Ariba Network ID. It's like a mobile number of yours. If I give you an example, it's like a unique number to every supplier and it's like a mobile number. Ariba system, how the Ariba system will know that I need to communicate with this supplier. This is the identification number, you can say. We call it in Ariba network ID of the supplier. Okay, this number will come in here by default once we initiate the registration. Once we initiate the registration and once the supplier register on Ariba network, this ID will generate and automatically update here. I will show you. I'm going to show you that one also. So let's go for registration. Let me show you the registration part. Okay, here. So that is the next step. So first is the supplier request we have completed. These things are there also. I will be showing you briefly. Like I will be showing that one also. I will explain it. Let's first do the next step is the supplier registration. Okay, it will give you a little better picture of this. Click in here. Now, till now, the supplier is not aware that you have initiated his like registration process into this one. So he will like initiated in his onboarding process in your company. After the registration, when you invite this supplier for registration, then only he will be known this thing. Now, here you can see these two things. One is invite, one is start internal registration. So internal registration, you can see it's a simple on their behalf. Like you can answer these questions on behalf of the supplier, but it's not a recommended approach, not a best practice, not a recommended approach that we always suggest, we always like promote, or we always suggest that supplier should fill this form on its own. We should not fill it up on his behalf. Okay, so that is why you can see this, like this is blue, like this is highlighted here because this is a standard practice and we do not prefer this one. In this one, when you try to invite the supplier here, you click on it. Now, do not get confused. Earlier, we have the request form. Now I'm going to share this registration form here. If you click on this registration, this is the registration form. Earlier you seen the request form. Now we are talking about the registration. And this form will go to supplier. This form will go to supplier and supplier need to answer all these questions. So in these questions, you can ask anything. Anyone, can you give me an example? If you want to register a supplier, just take an example. Take an example. Any questions? I think 3-4 questions. Like anyone can give me any examples of what you will be asking if you want to register a supplier. Correct? Definitely. Absolutely. So you want a document. So let one by one. So ISO certificate, you want a document from that supplier, right? You need to attach one document. That's fine. Okay, next.
The number of the employees working in that,
number of the employees. So you want some number in here, decimal number in here. That is correct. Anyone else?
And
any other
financial performance, gross profit, revenue, their cash flow in previous quarter, in previous 1 year, their tax number.
Yeah. So
there, if they are filing their taxes on time or not.
Right. So you can say like their ITR, their balance sheet,
right?
Their profit and loss statement, something like that. That things you will be asking, right? So all those things you can ask in here in a specific manner. Like for example, if we are asking number of employees here, so he will be writing here only decimal. He cannot write some story in here. That we can control. I will be showing you how you can control all those things. Okay. Here you can see this. Please share your GST certificate. So any certificate that you are asking, you can answer that, attach it. Please share your insurance certificate that you can attach in here. ISO certificate, he can attach in here. So what I'm trying to show here is Ariba has given and designed these questions in a manner that you can get the answer in a specific format, in a specific manner, the way you want. If you are asking supplier to attach something, till the time he will not attach something, he cannot submit his response. Okay, so that is what happens in here. So you can ask anything. This is why these forms are important. This is why these people, like these SLP people, use it, that you can get any information from the supplier on this one. So whatever the information, you can prepare a question, either it's an attachment, it's a document, anything in there, or yes, no, or something in there. Just create a question accordingly, and supplier will be responding to that. Okay, now So this is a questionnaire that we are going to send here. This is again, these things are coming from the template. Separate template is there for registration process. Please do not get like confused in this one. Request, separate template, separate process. Registration, separate template, separate process. Okay, currently we are performing registration. Now here is the recipient. You can see this recipient. You can add multiple people here. See this, add supplier contact, more supplier contact. So generally, if one supplier can have multiple contact, he will say, sir, please add my name also, like we are 2 partner or 3 partner. If I'm not there, you can send some of the information to this person also. So this way, you can add more people from the supply side. You can send this form to that person and he will respond. Okay. Who's changing? Who's the requester? I'm the requester. So you can change it. So generally what happens is some of the times centralized team or there will be some separate teams are there who will be performing the job, but someone else is requesting it. For example, there's a senior management people are there, like a manager and all above than that. They are asking something to the like the junior resources that please do the initiate this one. So actually they are just doing it on behalf of that. They are not the requester, right? So you can change the requester here. So for example, I'm like just joined, I'm a trainee and someone from the senior management came and like, please create this onboarding and all this one. Okay, so I'll raise it and I'll change the requester to the actual person name. So here you can find out. So if the person is there in the Ariba, you will be able to choose that name in here. Okay, and based on that, you will be able to like, so this way it will be helpful you to track it. That information will always remain the same. So who requested it? So from this one, you can understand like who requested this registration process. So this is the person who initiated, like he wants that supply to be get registered. So in case if you have any future queries and all, so you can reach out to that person. Okay, so this way, these are like functionalities and the features which help you to track your activities and process from this perspective. Okay, now let me send this. So if you see this, let me go in here. Okay, so for now, I'm not sure. Okay, there's something different. Now, let me put it. So I will receive the email. So that's why I was asking. So send here. Registration invitation in progress. Let me quickly show you the status here. Not invited. Okay, let me go back to the registration. Invited on invited. So if I go summary, see this, it changed. Actually, I just missed one, like it happens quite quickly, right? Like invite in progress, then invited. So invited, basically, this is also a logic. Invite in progress to invited. The status, some of the times you will find here, the invite status here is stuck in invite in progress. So invite in progress means like the system wait for the response, like either the bounce back happened or like email didn't went to the email ID is deactivated something. So in that scenario, it will always be stuck in invite in progress. Like the email didn't reach to the supplier. His email ID is blocked or something, anything could be there, right? If the email ID reached to the supplier correctly, either in the spam mailbox, sometimes it goes in the spam or some junk and all, that is different thing, but it reached, then the status changed to the invited. Okay, now if I show you, you can see this in my email. This is the email I received it. This is how the supplier. Now this is from a I'm as a supplier. So if I click in here, see this invitation, register to become a supplier with status. So company name generally comes in here. Status is hello, user invited to register become. So this is a standard message that you can getting in here, and here you can see this, click here to create the account now. This is just, this is the thing that I want to show you everyone, right? That's why I'll ask you to have the email ID, because this is how you will be every sub. So now whenever the supplier, you are sending some invitation, this is how the invitation will be reaching to the supplier. Sometimes it go to the junks and all. So if you are sending something to the supplier will say, sir, I didn't receive it, I missed it and all those things. So this is how you can say, like, this is how it will look, and you need to click on the link which is given in there, and then you need to proceed your like supplier registration.
Jay, can you send this information? I mean, can you resend it or maybe send it to a different ID if supplier says I have not received it or something.
Yes. So here, if you see this, if I go back here in the registration process, so let me show you that. So this is the form, and you can see re-invite. Okay, so you can re-invite this one if any issues are in there in this one. So you can re-invite. You can again start this process.
And if you have to send it to a different email ID, then that original form needs to be changed.
Same form will be coming, and you need to choose here the recipient. You need to choose the recipient. So for example, you have added, like for example, Jay Kumar is like he's on leave or something, and you have already added. You need to add one more contact here. So that comes in here from here. Let me show you. Just a second. Cancel. So contacts here. This like I'm about to explain. Like I haven't explained this part. So here you have the contact of the supplier. You can add multiple contacts. So here this is the plus sign. Add supplier contact. Simple, like it's nothing much in here. Like you click on it here. First name, last name, email address. These are the main tabs. Just put the name of that person. Other things, if you want to put it, that is up to you. And submit, save it. So another person like will be created here in this one. So like 2 people from the supplier side is there, and you can send any one of it.
Okay.
Okay. So this part of the assigning of the supplier manager. Okay. So let me explain this one also. Let's say assigning to the supplier manager. So this, what logic of this one is that in case, like as you know, right, like companies have like a lot of supplier database and all, like more than like 50,000 or lakhs of suppliers, some of the companies, right? So in that scenario, what happens is you need to assign a particular supplier manager. In case if supplier needs to be not responding, if something needs to be checked, or system having some issues in the from perspective, to whom you will reach out. Okay, so companies sometimes have another this aspect, another logic that they want to assign the supplier manager. This supplier manager is internal, not from the supplier side. This is our internal, like vendor, from the vendor master team, someone will be assigned that in case any changes, anything this needs to be checked. For example, if I give you an example, some audit needs to be done on the supplier. Okay, so who's the responsible person? Who will coordinate? Who will take care of it? So the supplier manager. You will connect with the supplier manager that this supplier, we are not sure this supplier is not updating something and all. We need to do an audit. We need to go physically there. Okay, so who will coordinate? This person. This is another feature. It's not mandatory to use. As I said, right, this is all based on the customer to customer. But these are some functionalities, these are some features which are there in place. Okay. I hope like I'm not going too fast, or like please let me know if I hope like everything is going good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you. Now, so from this perspective, you will have it. Now let's go back in here. Now, if I click here, so actually, if I click the in the same window, these things, right? So generally, like system gives error some of the times, like supplier and buyer. If you open in the same window, sometimes it gives error. So I'm just going to copy this link address. Maybe I'll try to open it maybe in an incognito window. Let me try this. Here, I'm just putting this one. Okay, I'm putting that link here. Hide. Yes, see this? This is how it is coming in here. Okay, this is the welcome page. So if you click on that link, it will redirect to you on this page. Okay, so this page, you can see this. This is the page here. Now, let me explain on this one. Sign up as a supplier. Okay, so it is on SAP Ariba. This is the one coming in here. Create SAP Ariba supplier account. So this first one, you can see this. There are 2 options for sign up and login. If you already have an account, as I said, right? If you already have an account, then you will do it. So if you already have an account, so please do not add any official account. Okay, like these are all because we are doing the training, right? This is a testing and all. So we can't do this one, right? So generally try to do the sign up in here. Okay, so here you will be doing this one, and you need to like create your account in here. Okay, so here click on the sign up. Even you have a guide here. If you want to go for the guide, you can have that guide here also. So you can see these are the basic informations which are already coming. Here you are creating an account. Bangalore in here, you can see this, everything incoming here, name, email. Use my email as my username. Please remember, username and password is important. And username, generally what happens is, it's a case sensitive. From a supplier perspective, if you are logging it is case sensitive. If you put capital letter 3 times, it will block your account. So please be careful while you are entering your account in here. Okay. So keep it like small letters or capital letter, that is up to you. But whatever you are keeping it, please maintain the same. Otherwise, unless like it will be creating some, or like you need to reset your password again and again. Okay. So, and it is always better to keep your email as your username rather than choosing some different username. Okay. You need to again have some format in here, but it's always better to have your email as your username. So then you need to just check this box. Then here, when you are setting up the password, you need to follow these conditions like minimum 8 characters, including upper, lowercase, number, digit, special character and all. So it takes, so okay, let me put this one. If I try to do that. Okay, so I've entered something like, let me see if it will take or not. Sometimes it gives an error. Okay, now, so this is basic, right? Here you can see this email orders to. Okay, so everything will be coming on this email ID also. Okay, so they say customers may send their orders through Ariba network. To send orders to multiple contacts in your organization, create a distribution list and all. So this is something from the supplier perspective, supplier do that.
Ajay, quick question. Can buyer control this username and all? So
No.
how it looks?
No, we can't. Like this is completely with the supplier only. Like we do not have like, so as you can see, right? We sent a email, and this email can only be accessed by the supplier only, right? So we cannot control all these things like how they are managing their username. So it's their account basically. See, it's a supplier account, so they will be doing it. They can change it as per their own requirement, and we can't control over on what they are choosing in here. They have some different username or some other preferences, so they do that. We can't control this one. Like this is on their side actually.
Okay, actually, our client only prefer to use email ID. So
Yeah, that you can guide them, but so see, frankly speak, like this is not in a practical or like in a standard manner. If I say this is their choice, because see this account, which is their supplier account, right? The supplier is not only dealing with one company. They can have connected with multiple companies also. They are doing Ariba business not just with one company. They must be doing a business with another companies also. One supplier deals with multiple companies, right? They will be connected with multiple, what you can say, multiple companies and all, right? So
okay, the SMID will differs, right, for one buyer to other. Whatever.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. Even SMID is like internal document of ours. SMID, whatever the SMID we generated for this supplier, right? That's our internal document. For example, take an example, right? I am supplier with Pawan today, and tomorrow also like other person Vinayak is there, right? So Vinayak also requested to, like, he has a company and Pawan has a company. Today I'm connected with Pawan. I'm dealing with Pawan via Ariba network. Tomorrow Vinayak requests me to, like, again he initiate the, he also met me. I met with Vinayak. Okay, please sir, take this one. I'm also dealing in these products. Please register me on Ariba network, like on your portal. Okay. So Vinayak initiates again. You already initiated yourself, right? That is your SM vendor ID has been created and I'm connected with you. Okay. Now the same thing happened with the Vinayak. So Vinayak will also be following the same process, registering me from the first the supplier request internally with asking the internal team to do it. And once they approve it, the SM vendor ID generated in their system will be different. So SM ID is different from each customer to customer. Even the supplier is same, because that's an internal process. That is not a common process, something which is like For common for something like it's a different process for each customer. Okay. And
okay, Jay, and how about this, the ANID for the same supplier?
ANID, yes, ANID will remain the same. So now it's like this way. Understand in a very simple language. I have my mobile number. I met Pawan. I gave him my mobile number. Hi Pawan, please, if you require something, please call me. I require this one. Same way, I met tomorrow to Vinayak. Hi Vinayak, this is my mobile number. If you need anything, you call me on this number. Same is ANID.
Okay.
Supplier, buyer having the same ANID will remain the same. That's why I said that it's a unique number. This is the number for identification on Ariba network of a supplier. Right? So this is how it works. So now you can see this as I have like logged in here. Okay, I'm just creating my account. If I go back in here in the Ariba management summary. Okay, so once I will register here, this ANID will get updated here. Okay, let me just do that. So I'm going to all these informations I have filled it up. Now here I'm going to product and service categories. So browse. These are standard. These are standard by Ariba. You see this. These are all the categories are. So it's not mandatory that you need to have it everything in the same. What you can do is whatever the nearest realistic category the supplier deals in, you can choose that also. Okay. For example, you deal into chemicals. Okay. So you select chemicals. Here you can see additive, coolant, grease, solvent, wax, and oil. So you might be dealing in some explosive materials, right? Just an example. I'm just taking an example. Maybe propellant or product. So you might be doing into something different, but they comes under the explosive category only. So you can choose this. Or if you want to see more, you can click on this one. Like aluminium, explosive, dynamites, and all something. So you can add plus. So basically, whenever you can see the plus sign, you can add that. And you can add multiple categories. It's not limited for one. You can add multiple categories. But suppliers, we like generally guide is there that supplier needs to select these categories properly and correctly, because a lot of things depend on all. Especially the Ariba discovery part that we will be covering up later is majorly dependent on this category selection of the supplier. Okay. So here you can see this, like these are all the things in here. Okay. So for example, I just select this aluminium explosive. Okay. Or maybe something like this one. Okay. So these two I have selected here. You can see my selection in here. If you want to select more, you can select more also. So there is no restriction on this one. Maybe one supplier can deal into multiple things, and click OK. Clear this part, the product and services categories?
Yes.
Okay. So these are all supplier needs to select like which category he deals in, IT or anything, chemicals or explosives and anything, that whatever the realistic or nearby categories are there he deals in, he need to choose that.
Then the products which are coming there in the browse. So from where it is coming? It is coming from
Ariba, like so these
Ariba.
are some, yes, these are some standard Ariba. Whenever you go on categories of Ariba, like on Ariba platform, whenever you search for categories, you will find these categories there. It is standard, like they have uploaded and created by Ariba and kept it on all their portals.
So this can be also added, right? Multiple, we can manually also add it, right?
No, we cannot do this one. Like we are not allowed. Like we do not have any options. So you can see this. There's no option for this one. So whatever that's why I said like so whatever
not here in Ariba. I'm saying.
In Ariba also, like if you see the reason. So when we'll be showing you, I will be showing you, right? So okay, let me go back in here. If I go here, where it is. If I show you, let me show you the categories. Okay, let me. If I just go in, okay, I'll just create one more supplier request so that option will come quickly.
So Jai, is this, I mean, I think the standard categories in the SAP Ariba is as per the UNSPSC.
Yes, they generally refer the UNSPSC. So you need to map it if you have something different in there. But yes, they generally refer to that. So for example, let me go back in here. Wait a second. And Ariba side, I'll show you the same thing here. This side, delete this request. Okay. So here I'll go create, let it process. Create supplier request. Now it's taking quite a wait. Okay, it's taking some time here. Okay, here, okay, I'm sharing my screen again. I hope you can see now. Yeah. Now you can see here categories. So you can see this all commodities. If you click on it, you see this. Same way you can find it out in here. Okay, and you can same way, like if you want to move it ahead, like let me see this. And if I say like chemical equipments, commercial, military, private vehicle, their access. So you can see this, like this way you can also choose in here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you will be able to like choose anything. If you want to go for any other things like building constructions and all, you will be choosing this one, and then you will be moving here in this one and finding out all these information. So these are all like standard. So here you can also get it, but as you can see this, these are standard, which are coming directly from the Ariba. Okay, same is for the region also. If you select for the region also, these things are also standard, which are by default coming from Ariba, like Asia Pacific and Canada and all. So these things are some regions, and these are basics, like these are always standard. So these are things coming directly, like Ariba has maintained something on a standard basis. So that's how it like works on it. Because see, it's a linkage. Basically what happening is what you are choosing here. For example, if I go to the supplier profile now, so what you are choosing here should be matching to the Ariba portal also. Otherwise, like there will be a little mix up. For example, you are qualified the supplier for security services, or you are using the supplier for security services. But when supplier is selecting the same security service, having a different, right? So it's basically like it's some, you can say like a global data they have prepared, and based on that they have chosen some of these ones and created it, and that based on that the people are choosing it, like the supplier and the buyer both.
Okay.
Okay. So click OK in here. Okay, so this is one, and here comes now the, you can see this ship to and service location. So ship to and service locations basically like you can, where you going to need the material, where you can supply. So here if you click on the browse, so you have regions, or you can say this, select the territories. First here you can see select the territory that your company serves. Simple. Where your company can, so for example you are sitting in India, you can supply the material to all the European region. Okay, maybe in any European region countries are there, so you can supply that. You can choose like, yeah, I can provide in the Northern Europe or Western Europe or Eastern Europe, or you can say I can supply the material globally. So select this global option. Any specific you want to select, you can select here this way, but if you want to select for global, you can select the global also. So this is all from a supplier perspective. Just I want to show you guys like, so that how it looks and all these things, how it works and all. So that is how it works. Okay, supplier has the option. They need to like do this one, and they will help all these informations. They need to fill it up based on their best knowledge, and so that they can get the better inputs and better responses when they select these products and categories and service locations. They need to select it in a better manner so that they can get the better leads. Okay. So this is how it works from their side. Now here you can see this accept terms, and this is accept terms. So these are some basic general terms that they need to accept in here, and then create account.
JJ,
Yeah.
Jay, what if in future jaytrainer34@gmail.com leaves the organization? So this email ID will be closed by the organization, and he will not share any password with any other people in the organization. What happens in that case? So can we regenerate the password and add one new email ID? So what will happen in such a case?
No. So in that scenario, what happens is there are, first of all, like there are people, like when you are creating this one, right? So you are working as a a user under the supplier also. The same way you are in Ariba, right? We have Ariba.
Right.
Ariba, we have a lot of users in there. Okay. So the J Kumar also will be getting as a, like you can say, like contact in there. So let me just create it. I'll show you the context here. Like the supplier needs to set up the point of contact, the people, and he has a person who he can set up as an admin also. The same way we set up our setup account at the buyer side, supplier also have similar kind of roles, admin access and all, and he have multiple people who can add in the organization of it. That is from supplier perspective. Let me just show you here. First, let me create this account. Now I think we have filled it up all the information. I hope this password will work. Let me create, continue, updating. Okay. Okay. Now you can see this. I came on the page directly because I went from the link, and this is the form that been sent by the buyer, by the company. And as a supplier, I need to fill this form. Right? It came directly in here. So this is like, if you are working on the link directly from the link, it will come directly on this page once you register. Now, you can see this couple of things here now. As I registered on this one, you can see in here, if I go in here and you check this profile of mine, if I just click on this view, if I go for view supplier profile, is it moving or not? That's working again. Let me click one more time in here. It's taking me a little more time to process this request. Okay, in the meantime, I'll just show you from the supplier side, the one that you were asking, right? So we can come on this page back. Okay, now you can see the timing coming here. Let me click on, go back to the dashboard. Now, this is your dashboard. Okay, from the ERP, from the as a supplier. Okay, now in this one, you can see this. If I click on this account setting, you will see this Jay Kumar and Jay Kumar Private Limited. And here you can see that everyone can see here the ANID. This number generated once you set up your profile. So here you can see there are two sections. First is you are a person here. And this is your company profile. This one. So here you will be maintaining multiple people. Same company can have multiple people. Like Jay Kumar is one, maybe Amit Kumar, maybe Harsh Kumar or someone. Like that way, 3-4 people can log in with the same, for the same supplier. that thing you maintain when you are having in the settings. So I will be covering up that thing. Like here you can see settings, users. In that one, you can set up, the supplier can set up multiple users. Here, manage users, manage roles. You have this one, so you can add more users. So here currently you can see this is my name coming. Supplier also have the option to add more, create user. So multiple user he can create in here, and he can keep one person as an admin and whoever is the complete access. And other he can provide the roles also and all. So the way we set up as our side, supplier also have the option to set up their side, and he have the rules also, like roles. If you click in
So,
here, see.
Jay, supplier has the option, but if the supplier has not added anyone in the as an admin or somebody else, so he is the only sole person there, so who has the access and he has left the organization. So, as a buyer, do I have any access? Do I this modify the account, or I just have to create one more this request?
No, you cannot, like, see, from supplier perspective, you will not be able to retrieve his account or something like that way. What you can say is, like, you can again send some links in here, re-invite and all, and you can add the contact, new contact at your side and resend the invite. So the person, he will be getting like again the invite. So same supplier will be getting more user invite. So they can reinitiate that one, and the same supplier will get a new person added in that one. So we can access
So
that.
we can as a buyer company, so I can modify it. I can send the re-invite email to this supplier who can add the contact without generating any new this ID SM ID.
Yes, yes, yes. So from your side, you can send it. So from your side, there is no issue in that one. You can send from your perspective, from your side. So that re-invite in option that I showed you earlier, right? So just a second, let it. Yeah, here it is. So if I click in here, view. Yeah, there. View supplier profile. Okay, now you can see this first. First, let's just take this one first. The AN ID is reflecting here. The same AN ID 1103-T. It's here at the supplier side. If I close this one, let me show you that. So here, if I click on this account setting, see this -T. Okay, same number. So this number gets generated once the supplier has created his account. It automatically update in our account here. Okay, and here is the, like that you said, right? So contacts. So you can see this contact. So only, for example, you want to add one more contact, add one more contact in here, add supplier contact from here. And once you have this added one more contact in here, you have also this primary contact person. So for example, you can remove that person, earlier person, not as a primary, and you can make the new person as a primary contact. And once you add this contact in here, you can go to the registration process and you can invite again, re-invite the one that we discussed recently, right? So here you can see this, this one, re-invite. Once you click on the re-invite, you will get an option to choose the person who you want to send this one. So once you have more persons, so add supplier contact and all, you can add that one, and then you can resend it. So from your side, this much you can do. Okay, so supplier will receive the email notification and all, then they need to set it up in their. But generally, see, in the real time, I'll say like, so generally, like that's a real case. Generally, like supplier keep their accounts very handy, and sometimes the suppliers, because they are receiving on a daily basis some notifications and some RFPs, RFQs and all. So they generally keep maintaining that one. But yes, from our side, we can initiate this thing to help them out if they want. Okay. Okay. I hope. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
while creating the supplier, we can add multiple contacts, right? Instead of sending later, sending the re-inviting, sending the invite, re-invite later. Can we add the multiple contact person at the time of creating?
No, like that is only one. Like you can see here, it is like a registration process. If I go back in there in the registration process here, so here if I go this one, if you click on this re-invite here, so here you need to see this view and edit. You can change this one, or you can add supplier contact. So you need to add again the supplier contact. So you will be sending to one only here, choose recipient. So one you need to choose in here.
So you mean to say we have to follow the same process?
Yeah, same process. Like to initiate that one, that you need
Or
to resend.
just adding one contact person, we just have to follow the whole process.
Yes, you need to like, so you can add it, right? I didn't get your question. So you want to add it from your side, or you want to resend the invitation again?
Oh, instead of resending the invitation, can we add the contacts multiple people?
Yes, you can here. So here this is under the contact section, under summary here, you can see this contact section here. You can add, see, just like here, I showed you, right? So, okay,
while creating the supplier, not after creating, if you want to re-invite it again, instead of that, while creating only we can add it, right?
Yeah, like see here it is. This is the supplier profile, right? When we created this one, here is the contact section in here. You can add multiple times here, like whatever the users you want to add, you can add 3, 4, 5, whatever users you want from the supplier side, you can add here.
Yeah, and then we can make it as a primary.
Yes,
if someone is left. Yeah, someone is left, we can add the main primary.
Yes. So only like one person, you can only out of 4 or 5 contacts which you have from the supplier perspective, you can add only one as a primary contact. So generally what happens is if you try to delete the primary contact, system will give you the warning. It will say like it's a primary contact, you will not be able to. So here, let me show you this one. Action, edit. So this is a primary contact. Okay, so save it. And if you see this, the delete option is not even coming in here. You cannot delete this from your side, okay, if they're not coming. So for example, let me just do it quickly. I'll just show you this one. First name, test, Kumar, something @gmail.com. I'm just putting randomly in here and I'm going to save it. Did I miss it something? No, what happened? I didn't click on something, or I didn't save it. Let me check again one more time. Test name, something like that, and if I just write @gmail.com, okay, and save it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It took some time to reflect in here. Okay. So now you can see this. This is your star mark coming. So this is your, what you can say, like your primary contact. So you are not getting an option to here. See this delete option. Whereas if you click on this one, you are able to see the delete option.
Jay, can you go back to the contact? I think we have an option called changing the primary contact.
Yes, we can change it. So for example, you want to make this one primary. So here, see, edit this one.
Yeah, in the top right corner we have.
Yeah, here it is. This is the primary contact. So we can always, so as I said, see, one person, you can make only one person as a primary. So now, for example, if I see this, save it. See this, Jaguar will no longer be primary contact. So earlier I was the primary contact, and now if I change it, so I will not be the primary contact. So you cannot delete the primary contact and all. So that option will always be there. So here it is.
So what if I need to change only the email address? Jay Kumar email address has changed now. So I no need to delete him. I need only the email address need to be changed for him. Is it possible?
So here you can see this, it's a grayed out. So it is not possible. You need to remove this contact and add this. This is kind of a workaround in there, because generally what happens is you are changing a supplier contact without informing supplier, or generally this needs to be changed at the Ariba network. On the Ariba network, there's a position for the supplier to change their email IDs and all, and they need to communicate that thing to same to you, or it get pushed from the Ariba network itself.
So in supplier portal, they are having an option to change their email address.
They can
supplier.ariba.
Supplier.ariba. There's that Ariba network. There's you can say this Ariba network. There's another portal. Okay. On this one, the suppliers will be able to pushing that data of their changing, like the contact person and all, and they can push it, and then you can add it in your side also. Okay. So that's how you can perform all these things, right? So, okay, let me first see this. Okay, has been done in here. Okay, now if I show you here summary, so this is invited, this is your ANID. So I hope ANID part is clear, everyone, with this one. Any doubts on this part, how this ANID is working, how we are created in this one, how the supplier profile get created in here, this one. So this is your dashboard, like, so you can see this is, I will be covering up this later. Let me first go to the, okay, so here it is already the questionnaire. So this is the questionnaire that you can see the supplier received. Okay, I'm opening this one. You can see the timing here coming here. So this timing is coming from where? This timing is coming from the template. We have set up the template having a fixed time of 30 days. Okay, so this is how it is coming from there. And you can see this, these are all the questions that supplier needs to answer. Wherever there asterisk mark is there, that means we have asked the supplier that these fields are mandatory that they need to answer. Here, attach a file. The supplier needs to attach a file also. Right? All these information, all these questions, whatever you want to ask, you will be sending up like this. So you can see this, like if you have given some options, so you cannot do anything else. Supplier like yes, no. Please share the insurance certificate of the financial year. Now, if supplier says, sir, I can send later, I do not have right now, I have some old one, I have not removed it, I have already applied for the application, I have initiated and all. We do not want to that history. We are looking for either you have it or not have it. So these kind of questionnaires you can set on your side. You can ask the straightforward question, like, you see, this is generally the issue happens, right? You need to most of the time you need to communicate similar things to the supplier multiple times, and supplier gives you wrong information or sharing the wrong document. He's saying you are asking something, he generally reply you something different, right? So that kind of like miscommunication or delay in the process or unnecessary sharing something which is not relevant to us, that generally happens, right? That is very practical. So from that perspective, creating the questions from your side to the very specific requirement that you are looking for help you out to close these things in a one go, rather than like asking the same thing multiple times to the supplier. These things help you to close these things in a one go. Give an option to the supplier in a manner that he will be able to provide the response like the best possible nearest point to the what you are looking for. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Even you can create a question where you can attach something, supplier can read that and respond on that. So that thing I will be covering up in the, like you can say in the parameters, when we'll be covering up the parameters in here. Sorry, when we're covering up the template. So I will be showing you that at template level when we create these type of questions in there. Okay. So this is, so here when you see, okay, so from the supplier side, if you see here, right, event messages, event detail, so you can like communicate with the supplier also, sorry, with the buyer also. So this is supplier side. You can see this timing is coming in here. If you want, if you go down in here, you can see the save draft. You can submit entire response, compose message, import anything if you want to import. All these options are there with the supplier. Some other options, additional options also come when you are working on the sourcing project side. I will be showing you that one also later when we discuss the sourcing module, because that is much better to have better examples to show you, because they have more combinations, you can say more informations that I can show you better in there. But yes, this is the current one. So this is how you will be sending up the registration process to the supplier, and supplier need to respond on this one. Any doubts on this one? Okay, let me show you this part also from our side, how the registration. So when it is invited, so what will happen is I'll be completing this process. I'm just explaining you everything in here first. You can see this invited, invited on, invited status, registration invited, supply recipients, email, and this is the process flow. Again, remember, we are into the registration process. This approval flow design, we can configure. It's all configurable at the template level. Okay, so you can see this now invited in registration. Once the supplier will submit this response, it will be coming in approval. These are some to-do tasks, and this is some internal form, project owner, and this is some supplier registration questionnaire. Okay, so this all three needs to be approved. This is an approval, you can say like it's a parallel approval. So this needs to be completed after completion of this approval. Once the supplier submits, it will change into the in approval, and once all these things get approved, then it will become registered. And whatever the response coming from the supplier, you will be able to see here in this form. Like it will come here if you open it, view. So here you can see the questionnaire. Let it be come in here. It's already there. Yeah. See this questions and response. Whatever I'm going to put the response in here. It will be coming in here. Okay. Till now, any doubts, please let me know. Like I hope like this part is clear. Any doubts, any questions on this part, please let me know. These two are very important, as I mentioned earlier, right? In the process of supplier registry, supplier request and supplier registration. These are the important part from the SLP perspective. Qualification and other things are also there, but these are very important. These are having the major importance, you can say. Anyone have any doubts on this one?
Jay, can we create supplier request form in bulk? Is there any such kind?
Yes, that is also there. I will be showing you that one also. We can create supplier request in bulk. There's a mass invite, mass registration process is there. We can do that also. I will be covering up that. Okay, so from registration side, we have invited this one, right? Now we need to submit. As a supplier, you need to get this submitted. Okay, so the timing is coming. So you can see the clock is coming in the reverse, like it's going in the reverse direction. So that maximum time is given for 30 days. Like the supplier needs to respond this one. So you can set it up if you want for some less days. You can set this thing up as per your own requirement. Okay, these things can be set it up in here. Now here you can see this supplier information. So I'm just filling it up. All this like these are test data. So I'll be filling up like company name is Jay Kumar 38 Private Limited. And I'll just put short name is Jay Kumar. So Duns number is there, street is there. So I'll just write street 5, city. I'll just put Bangalore in here. Street I'll put Karnataka. Postal code I'll just put it 53001. Country I'll put search from here. I'll put in here search mode. PIA India. So vendor phone number I'll just put like 888888 something. Number of employees I'll just say like 400. Vendor type import and domestic top 5 customers not applicable. I can write like not applicable in here. Anything in here? Yeah, no. I'll just put it here. No. GST certificate. NA. I'm just putting here. And if I need to attach one file in here, so I have some test document. I'll attach that one. So it's easy to attach like on your desktop and something. So I'll just go on the desktop and if I go in here. ZaranTech, and I'll just have a test document. I'm just adding something here. So okay, so this takes like your JPG file, your Word file, Excel file. So Ariba generally accept most of the document types in here. So there's no specific requirement that it does not accept something. So I think it accepts most of them. So you can just do that and click OK in here. Okay. So now you can see this here. These are the things they specified. Do you provide SSH? No. Bank name, I can put like bank name is test bank. Account holder name is like Jacuma. Then I'll put like domestic, country, region, and all. I'll just search more. I'll put India. Account holder name Jacuma. Bank key is something. Account number is something. I'll just Swift code is something. Saving account. FSC code. Swift code. GST number. I'm just putting all these random things in here and I'm attaching the same file again. Choose file in here. Okay. And here we have something. NA, ABCD in NA, is legacy NA. Not applicable. I'm just putting this way. Okay. So even though if you see this, if I do not put anything in here and I try to submit it, so system will give you error. So like the supplier cannot submit which is being asked and he's trying to submit without that. So if I see here, click submit entire response, you have not provided the response. So you can see this system is already highlighting this one. So whatever mandatory, especially whatever the things which are mandatory, the supplier has to submit that without, like, he needs to fill that information. If that information is not filled in that area, system will not allow you to submit your response. Okay. Now, another thing that I want to show you here, just a second. Okay. Let me first this one. NA here. Okay. Okay, let me submit this response first, then I'll explain that part. So it will go away from here. Now, you can see this. I have filled up all the information. Now I'm going to submit it, submit this response. So you can also check that these things is always real time. So whatever the information I'm going to submit from here, from the supplier side, it will come here in the real time basis. It is always like that. So the data flows in a very real time. Okay. So if we, even though you can see here, I will show you first the approval here, this registration status first, this will change. Okay. Let me go back in here and click OK. So you can see this, the response has been submitted. Thank you for participating in the event. So you need to submit entire response, then only you will get this option. So this is what you will be seeing always in here. Now you can see the status here, it's yours also saying pending approval. So as a buyer, as a supplier, you can also see these information. So the status got changed into this one and you can see like this is what it is currently. Okay, in the pending approval. Okay, okay, one more thing I want to show you here. If I go on the dashboard, supplier dashboard, you can see this test mode, standard account. This is a test account basically. That's why you are seeing here this as -T after this Ariba network ID, right? -T. This -T means that it's a test account. It's a test ANID. In the real world, when you are working on a production system, the actual systems and all, this -T will never come in. Okay, it will only be the numeric number and here alphanumeric number. This -T will not come. This -T means that this account is a test account. Okay, this is the notifications this is a kind of a notation by which you can understand like whether it's a actual account or it's a test account. So if someone is using this kind of account, you can say that, okay, so this is a test account. And you can see the same thing is also reflecting in our side. Sorry. So here -T. Okay. Now let me go to the registration process. Okay, let me click on home page. I'm not sure why it's like taking some time to load the data. Coming back in here. Okay, let me open this supplier in here. View supplier profile. Now you can see this status changed now. You can see this registration status is in pending approval. Okay, and you can see this, the dash T is also reflecting the same AN ID is reflecting here also dash T. So from this you can understand like this is a test supplier. Now going back to the registration process, click on it. Now you can see this in approval. So in registration has been moved, and here you can see this approval. Right, automatically these things are, so these things are coming from the template, and these are all designed, right, what we have set up in here. Now whatever the supplier, so here you can see these are the forms which are associated with this one in the task, in the process, and these are the tasks. So you can see this is an approval task. So when we'll discuss the task and all those things, I'll tell you what is a to-do task, what is an approval task, what is a notification task. So those things will be coming from the template. These all things are set up, the task and all those things are the process which are set up at the template level. Okay, so from there I will be showing you that one. So here what you need to do is you need to take action by project owner. So the person generally who creates the project becomes by default the project owner. Okay, you can add multiple people. All those things will be reflected when we discuss the template part. Here you can see to do internal form, approval for supplier registration. So this is approved in here. So if you see this first, let's go to the questionnaires in here. Okay, so this is the one. See this, the response. Company name, this, all this information. You can download these documents. So for example, if I just click on it, okay, simple, like it's easy, just click on it and it will get downloaded. So here it is, the document. So whatever the supplier has given us, we can open, we can download it, and we can read it. Okay, something has been, should be there in this one. Okay, it looks fine, and then you can approve it. If something is not, you can leave it. So this way you can download all this information, if anything, attachment, especially the documents which are attached. Rest, all this information will always remain in the system. If someone wants to check after maybe a 6 months, a year or 2 years or 3 years later, that how this supplier has been registered, what all the documents has been verified from this supplier, where are these documents which has been verified, all those things you can always refer this one, and these things will always remain here in this system. You can access this anywhere in the world. That is, like, you can say, the major benefit of it, these things. You do not need to go anywhere else and all. You can see all this information, who done what and all, everything, what are the documents being provided, when has been provided, who approved it, who performed this. All those things will always be here in the system. Okay, this is one of the major benefit you can say from this side. Now, if I go done, let me go to the task section. So this part is clear. Like, anyone have any doubt, like how the supplier respond, how it reflects? So I think that part is clear, right? Any questions on that? Any doubts, like how we access the document, how we set up the questionnaires, how the response supplier is responding? Anything on that one? Please feel free to ask. Like, so because these are, like, these, as I mentioned, right, these two processes are important. You understand the process perspective, that is very important, because this data will definitely keep on changing. As I said, right, data will always be keep on changing. This approval process, these tasks will keep on changing from customer to customer. If you are as an implementation partner, all these things you need to discuss with your customer, how they want. You need to suggest something, they will come with something new, they will ask you to, can you set up this way and all. So these things will keep on changing, but major thing is the process. The process will always be like this: requests, then you need to do the registration, you will be sending some questionnaires, 10, 5, 20, you will be getting a response from the supplier, the status will keep on changing, you need to approve those, you need to review those, then you accept that, and then your supplier will get registered. Okay, but the data point, the data part will always keep on changing. The process will always be the same wherever you go, any customer, any client, but the data will change, the process will remain the same. So now here you can see this, these are some 3 tasks has been created. So let me show first in approve. Okay, so click on it. So you can see this: approve, deny, request additional info, anything you want to do this, and here is your approval flow. This is all we can configure, we can set it up in here. You can see this dotted line in this one because this is a to-do task. It's not an approval, it's an approval task which has been done, and this is the one here. You can see this waiting for approval. but this is a to-do task, the upper one. So what is a to-do task and all? So I'll explain a little later once we discuss this one. Okay, then I'll explain this one. But it's like, you can say like some activity you need to perform. It's not an approval, it's an activity that you need to perform before closing this one. Okay, so this is how it will be coming in here. So you can review these things in here, will be reviewed by any team. Like you can set up any person, maybe the same vendor master team, or maybe some higher team is there, or some other team is there. Those people needs to review these all information and then they need to approve it. Okay, you can ask approval for multiple people also as well. So you can see that this is actually, I'll explain the approval process later, but this is, you can see this is a parallel approval. Parallel, like this person and this person. For example, these persons are, these two persons are separate persons. So anyone can approve any moment of time. There's no dependency on each other. Okay, so I'll show you these things in detail when we discuss the approval flow. So now here I'm going to approve this one. So I can say looks okay, like okay, everything's fine, and approve this. Okay, and done in here. Okay, so now you can see this got approved. I need to complete this to-do task. If I go in here, not started, this is a to-do task. You can see this. If I click in here, so with minority indicator, minority is something like someone has created some questions. So as I said, like the data could be anything. So there's nothing to worry. Like this, you can have any question in here. So basically the question and response. So you have set up some task in here where you asking some question and you need to check, like, so you can have a question here also. For example, you can also have a question. Have you checked the supplier registration certificate? Is supplier looks authentic or not? Yes and no, some kind of that kind of an answer. So anything that you feel which would be more relevant question in here, you can create a task and you can have that thing in setup. And once it is done, then you can mark it complete.
So Jay, so whenever we approve it, so the approver who is there, so they will get a mail for the approving it, or how they came to know? You need to approve the task.
Yes. So basically what happens is like as soon as the approval flow goes, for example, like this approval flow needs to be approved by this person. As soon as this node, so we refer this as a node. So as soon as this node get active, okay, like it needs to be approved by this person, that person receives a notification email. You can control those notifications on everyone on your profile, but for approval and all, you will receive always a notification. So, and sometimes you will see that in the notification itself, you will get an option in the email, the basically that you receive itself in there. Sometimes you will get an option for approve and reject. So that option is also there. Like you can log in Ariba, you can approve and like something you can do from there also. And sometimes the email notification setup is like that way that once you receive the email, you will get an option to approve and reject in your email also. So you can directly like approve there and send that email. It will get automatically approved. That option is also there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. So let me mark it complete. Okay.
Yeah, this the to-do part also necessarily goes to the same approver who has approved, or it can go to a different person, higher authority.
Okay, you can, this to-do task is you can set it up like who will be taking care of this one and who needs to do perform the action on it. Okay, so basically like the tasks, whatever the tasks are there, you can set up like the owner of the task and the observer of the task. So basically like the owner, like who will be taking care of this task, owner, basically we can set up the owner. So task is little different from the approval side actually. So approval task is different and to-do task is little different. To-do task is basically like referring to some activity you need to perform. Approval is you need some approval, straightforward. So these things I can explain a little better when we'll discuss the template. In that one, I will be showing you these things in there. Or you can
is
say
there,
like, yeah.
Is there any behalf of approval? Is there if person who's need to approve if it is not there, is on vacation?
Yeah. Okay. So for on behalf of thing, right? So basically for requisition and all, you can create the something on behalf of. Otherwise, for approval perspective, you need to have the delegation. Okay, you need to have the on behalf of is there, but like you can create something on behalf of someone and all those things are there. Okay, But for this one, you need to have it like for approval process. You cannot do it on behalf of someone else unless and until you have a delegation authority. Like that person is have delegated you. Okay. So I'll quick. So this is how it works in here. Okay. So let me click on done in here. Yeah. Now you can see this. All these three has been completed. We have approved all three. We have completed the task. We have approved this one. So the supplier got registered. And now if I go back here in this one, summary, see this status. And now you can see this. It became highlighted and here you can see the qualification. Earlier it was not there. I hope everyone like noticed that, right? I highlighted this one, like no qualification was not there initially. Now only it is reflecting. Clear request and registration from an end user perspective. I'm not taking it from the implementation side. From an end user perspective, request and registration. So if I say like in a like layman language, if someone asks you to create a request, supplier request or supplier registration as an end user, someone asks you to do that. I hope you can confirm, like you can do that.
Yes.
Right. So this is the part that, yeah, thank you. Thank you. So this is the part we covered from the end user perspective. Okay. And so any doubts in this one? First of all, the registration process and all, any doubts how we register and those things? Any questions on this one?
Jay, here, the ERP integration status, it is showing in process.
Right.
Okay,
So yeah. Sorry. Okay, let me. Okay.
This test system is connected with your ERP or not here?
No, that is not connected. That is what I like initially I mentioned, right? So this is what is like we have a limitation on this one, so it's not connected. If it had been connected, then it would be like I would have shown you that part in here. Okay. Now let's see some other information of this one. Okay, so this is one part, summary. Okay, so this part we have seen. Contacts, we have seen it here, how we have creating the contacts in here. Then here you can see this ERP data. So I'm just giving you the like overview on this part because these things are generally work when you have a system integrated and like basically it get updated. So here you can see this SM vendor ID, same ID which is there under vendor information, ERP vendor ID, your VDR ID, which is same, which you have seen it there. Integration status, it's in process. Okay, so once your integration has been completed, it will collect processed and all. And you can get the timeline also on this one, which has been synced and all those things, right? Name and all basic information, any other information you have tax related, you want to have any tax related information.
What is sync vendor content version?
So like when you are syncing to the supplier at the like, so when you are multiple times, you are version 2, you are multiple times syncing it. Okay, like so what happens is the job runs multiple times. So if you are having something on a sync side or they are on a syncing perspective, if you are setting up some versions to get the data updated in each version, so that thing you can set it up in there.
So why is it 2 now?
So that is like, I'm not sure. So here, like most probably there will be something in the system perspective at the back end. So that is why it is, because like, as I said, right, integration state is not connected. So maybe something will be there in this one. So not, as I said, see, everything is not connected. That is why a lot of information is not coming correctly in here. This is more on an integration perspective, which is not connected our system. Maybe something is there, setup is there, like trying that twice or trying thrice to put that data sync in there. That is why the version is coming in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see other informations are coming in here. So any information which you related for unique code in there, category code is there, profile code if you are maintaining something. So these are all data perspective that you are maintaining in your data in the system. So these things will be coming from their side.
Well, what is there in the text information?
Okay, so text information is blank. So there's nothing in here. So you can see like I've already opened. So as of now, there's nothing in here from the text perspective.
Okay.
So So extended address is some things are there in this one. So period start date from today till 1991 and all. So these things are there in this one. So as I said, see, this data is like basically get published and data get updated. Some are the things are default. Some things are needs to be configured. Once you have the configuration and all those placed in the system, so then you will be able to see the complete data. Okay, some data get when you are putting something on the ERP perspective. You are pushing some data, ERP data is pushing something, then that data gets synchronized. It get updated there. Otherwise, some default values are will be put by the system. The best example is the VDR ID. ERP ID is not there. That's why system created what? VDR ID and kept it there. But once your system will get integrated, it will come in here.
So, Jay, I have a question here. Let's suppose if a vendor is registered in our ERP. So we are just implementing this system, Ariba. So when we are integrating our S4 or ECC to the Ariba, so the ID, the ERP ID of the vendor, which is created in the our ERP. So will it create a new SMID automatically in the ERP or what? How will it happen?
No. Like the way I mentioned, right? So this will not create. So for example, you are okay. What is the source of truth? You are saying like this supplier is here, right? And you will be now integrating with the ERP system, right?
This supplier is there in the this ERP, not in this Ariba. Okay. So when we are integrating our ERP to the this Ariba, so the SMID will be created automatically or how?
Yeah. So it will be like, so what are all the things that you want to generate it in there? So SMID vendor ID will always get generated. Okay.
Automatically, we don't have to do anything.
No, we do not. So even here you can see this, it is got generated automatically. Like so this is a system generated. If you see this, if you are pushing something from Ariba, this SM vendor ID gets generated because whenever any data is coming in the sub SLP, right, in the SM vendor management, so the system needs to identify it with particular some identification number. So that number needs to be generated. So that number will definitely. Otherwise, if you see this, if you are pushing some data from the ERP side, how the system will identify whether this is the which number. If the data is there in the SMID, yes.
So that means we don't have to, in case if a vendor is registered in the ERP and we are integrating the ERP to the Ariba, in such cases, we don't raise the supplier request, we don't raise the supplier registration request.
Yes. You just need to push it in here and data will get created in here. So see, in this case, what will happen is you will not be having any documentation on it. The way we have done this registration and request, that confirmation, that questionnaire that we have filled it up, those things will not be here. So this basic summary will always be there, right? The basic summary, like here, the status will always be like not invited. Your creation date will come here when you had pushed this data and it got created into SLP. These IDs will be here. So basic information, email IDs and all content, whatever the basic informations will always be there. When you are pushing the data from your ERP system to the Ariba system, these questionnaires and those things will be like still blank. Nothing will be here.
So do you have any such case in your ERP which you can show us?
Like didn't get you, like which one?
The vendor is registered the vendor is created in the ERP. Now it is integrated. So you don't have this ERP, your Ariba is integrated to some ERP.
So okay, so here if you see this, like see this file I showed, right? So these are the data which is pushed from the Ariba, sorry, ERP system. So for example, if I go, this is the SM vendor ID. Okay, if I go in here, I will go in here, supplier management. Okay, so here I'm going to put that ID in here. Let's see if I can search this one. So STC, so you can see vendor ID is coming in here. See this ERP vendor ID. So this data, right. So you can see this, like there's no request in here. See this, nothing is there from the registration side invitation, but this data is there in this one, the basic, because this data get pushed from the ERP side. So ERP vendor ID is there and SM ID.
So can you just click on the supplier request?
Supplier request, yes. So it's not there in this one because we have already
was created data import or an ERP system.
Right. So this is coming directly from there. So you can see like this file, I think I shared, right? This one I shared when I explained this one, right? So here you can see this itself, where ERP vendor ID. right? So SM vendor ID is in here, and you can see the source system. The main important, you can see the source system. It is created where? In SAP. This is created where? In SM, that is
SM.
supplier management.
Okay, so are we going to cover data import and export also?
Yes, yes, we will be covering data import export also.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So as I said, see,
vendor,
yes,
but for this vendor, ERP integration status is not integrated, right?
Yes, let me show you. Yeah, so not integrated. So it's been like data pushed. It's just one time data push. Integration generally, like as I said, right? So integration is you are getting data and you are also pushing back something. So for example, okay, let me say this one. Generally what happens is whenever we create the supplier request, okay, in Ariba system, to get a supplier sync at the ERP side, what we need from an integration perspective. If I say like, just a second, if I just put it here, maybe I'll just include new slide in here. Okay. So whenever we go for this one, right? Sorry. Okay. So whenever we sync a supplier, what we need? When we need 4 requests. One is request in, then we have request out, then we have I think confirmation in, and then we have confirmation out. Sorry, confirmation out. Right? These are the 4 messages type that generally we refer when we go for any supplier registration. So what happens is this is the data which is being put up from Ariba, like when Ariba is pushing from Ariba side to the ERP. That is a one request. Then the request out, the response comes from the ERP system. Yes, this data got received in here. Then the another request goes confirmation in which the other data of the supplier information goes to the ERP side. And once that data get generated and created there and settled down at the ERP side, then the confirmation out as a response confirmation comes back to the Ariba system. Right? So the same scenario, if you see in here, in this one scenario, what we are referring in here is the ERP system send us the data, we received it, but from our side, like there's no response or something is not going in there. Okay, so the complete cycle is not happening. Like if I'm calling you, I'm saying, have you reached? So you have confirmed me back, yes, I have reached. So here I called you and that information been reached to you, but there's no confirmation of that coming back, response. Right, so that happens generally when you have integration status is completed. That will. So see, understand, like like these systems are demo systems. As I said, I see data and all those things are a little bit sometimes are not working in a proper manner because these are all demo systems. And frankly speaking, all the demo systems in the world, like, you will never find even the test environment. If you go on a customer side, production and test. Production works on a in a better way rather than test environment. Always you will find something in there, right? So that is what we can say, like we also have some limitations in that perspective. But yes, so from this side, you can understand like this is the file that I mentioned, right? That this is the source system. Always refer to this one. Wherever we have SAP, you can see this, the ERP vendor is there because the data is being pushed from the ERP side, and when it is pushing from the ERP side, so already like the ERP ID is already there in the system, and that's how the data is coming back to the SM system. Okay.
Jay,
So Jay, it might be the case like we have imported this data, not directly fetched from the ERP.
Yes, that is also possibility. Like you can load it. So, but even if you are loading it here, so either you are running. So it is like coming from out only, right? So either it's been coming via the.
If we are loading it, what would be the source system?
So that you will be maintaining, like maybe you are loading it there. So it can be SM, or if you are setting up there in the SAP, you can there. So that is your file format, what you are putting up in there when you are loading this one, right? The file formats, that the way you are setting up in there. And I think in the while you are loading it, there's no this one. What you can say, I think source system is
source
there.
System.
I think let me check that one. So if we go into this one, so manage SM admin. Let me check that file in here quickly. This is supplier export. Let me download this, export the current. So this is the current data which is there in this one. So if I just download a sample file, let me click it. This is the sample file. Yeah, so source system is there. So you will be mentioning this one. Okay, so you can hear this is the header fields which all are in there. So it's up to you how you are loading this one and you are maintaining something. So if ERP IDs are there, so you can have it, and otherwise like you can have it this way, like you can load it in here and then it will be coming there. So for example, if you see this, if I extract the data, just a second, what is the current data in there, current supplier export, if I'm exporting this one, so let me open this one. Okay, is it the same one? I think, yeah, this is the one. And if I go in here, so if I search for my ID, Control F, J, right? J Kumar. Sorry, not J. I think J. I'll just go with J. There's only this is coming as a just.
Only Jaganesh is coming.
Sorry. You're saying?
I said only Jaganesh is coming.
Yeah. Just a second. I think I have. Let me close this file. No, I think I have checking the different file in here. Let me export it one more time. Yeah, let me search now. Control F. Jay Ganesh, only Jaipur is coming. Any other supplier? I think I just put the same name, right? Any other name? I'm not sure. Let me check one more time. If I go into the supplier management. Jay Kumar. Okay, let me put it Jay Kumar. So Jay Kumar. Actually, it should come in here because this is an extract of this.
It might take some time to upload the data.
Okay, let me check in the other system here, core admin. Let's see this. If I go in here, if I go in the supplier section here, if I search here Jay Kumar, yeah, so it's here. See this Jay Kumar 38 Private Limited. It might be some, like maybe it's just take some time to reflect in here. So it's reflecting in here. Okay. So it's reflecting here, or what I can see that I can extract the data from here also. Maybe
go to the site manager, Jay.
Yeah. From here,
yes,
I can download the suppliers here. Supplier here.
Export.
Yes. Just a second here. So generally that data reflects there also. I'm not sure, like maybe something is like just taking some time to get it updated.
Consolidated.
Yeah, maybe I just export this supplier. Let me just try this one. Okay. Okay, I'll check this one, like why it's not reflecting here, but it generally reflect in here. Okay, showing folder. Okay, sorry, let me open it with later. So here, if I go in this one, It's not selecting anything here. Okay, just a second. Looks like there is some issue, otherwise it should come in here. So because there we are seeing it, but when you are filtering it, it's not coming in here. So maybe the setup, it's nothing coming, anything in here. Because when we have seen this one here, it is coming, but now it's not coming. Okay, supplier location, supplier consolidated data, anything in here. Maybe I'll try this one. Okay. Control F, J. Okay, just a second. Not sure, like see, data is not reflecting in here. Maybe something is not right with this one. Otherwise, because of, if we see the user interface, that same supplier is visible, but in these files it is not coming. So if you can see this J, J, 38, it is there in this one. Okay, so it should reflect in there also. Maybe let me see if I can find it out something more on this one, something on the SM admin. This is the one current qualified suppliers in here. Okay, I can check the integration status of mine also. Let me check this quickly there. Integration status, if it is there, then might be there is some issue with the supplier. Just hold on a second. View supplier profile. This is the ID I need. Control copy. Manage SM admin. Integration status. SM vendor ID. Search. So most probably looks like there is some issue with the data and synchronization. Otherwise it should have been coming here also. Like there's no request because in process it is showing, but there's no response coming in here. So something like maybe like data input export. If I just seen in here, everything is there in this one. Okay, I'll check this one. I'll check maybe something issue with the system perspective, right? The data is not reflecting in there, but because here if we see this in our supplier management, so the supplier has been created and it's reflecting there on the user interface, but when we're exiting the data, that's not reflecting. So so this is all like system data issues and all. So as I said, right, this is a demo system, so sometimes it happens in there. I'll check this one and I'll let you know like if something is there, or I'll find out the data from the like it might take some time to reflect. Maybe by some time it will start reflecting in here. Okay, so these are the basic process. Okay, these are the things that you will be seeing from the supplier request and the registration side. Okay, so apart from this one, that I want to explain a few about the things from the like if in case before this one, like we can go here, and if in case if we go and want to check this data in the other core admin system, the where we have checked it just now. Okay, So for example, you are not buying the SLP system. Take a consideration that you are not buying the SLP. So in that scenario, what are the benefits? What are the disadvantage? How are you going to perform all those activities? Okay. So from that perspective, if you see this, these things you will be performing like you can see from the core admin side. So I think there is a tutorial on this one. I think I had requested on that one. So let me just see this. Supplier, okay, supplier registration. Let me open this one quickly. So registration we already completed. Let me see, like I think I have involved in this one only. These are all disclaimer sites. Okay. So introduction, collaboration, paper electronics, catching errors, improvement, Ariba discovery. Okay, business marking. These things we have already aware of this one. Okay. So existing user log. Okay, so you can also like refer this registration. So these things are already been set up in here. So invitation to possibly existing login, new user login, accept terms and conditions. And some of these things are coming from the downstream perspective, like if you are setting up the trading relation. So these things will be covered when we will be discussing the Ariba supplier network. Okay, so these are the landing page, registration process, same information that we have done it. So we have filled it up here. You can refer these things, browse the categories, the same service category selections are in here. Here you will be finding out that same products, services, global and all. Okay, those things. For the first time users, you can set up this global, and these are the basic, all these things, my selection that we have selected there. Then you have this form in here where you will be setting up these things. So I think like these things will help you out to, if you are need to refer something, either the recording or you want to just refer these PPTs. So it will help you out to set up these things in here. Okay. So this is how it will be reflecting in here. Okay. So, okay, let me show you here this one. Like, for example, if you are not using this one, now whatever the supplier that you have created, you want to see that in the Ariba system. And as I mentioned, right, this ACM ID, right? Whenever you are creating a supplier, it gets created as a common supplier. So here comes in here. If I go in here, now, if I say Jay Kumar 38, okay, so supplier is visible here, right? I'm able to find it out in this one. Now, Control X. Now, I'm not able to find this supplier. Anyone can provide me any guess, any rough idea?
Yeah, try to click on either.
Okay, here you either search, nothing. Any guess? Like nothing, Tracy. As I said, like so you guys are learning. Any guess? Any idea on this one? Why it's not reflecting?
You need to enter in the common supplier name.
Yeah, common it is coming, in the supplier name it's not coming. So that is the question. That is the question. Okay. So what is the logic? Why it is not coming? Anyone?
So maybe it was registered, something related to registration.
No. Any other one? I gave the hint.
You are saying something about private.
No, that is.
You are saying something regarding the common and partition.
Common and
so once the supplier is created, it is created as a common supplier name. Then we have to give it a preference status or not, something related to that.
No, not preference related. Okay, not preference related. So basically, see what, if you remember, right, that I mentioned this one. I mentioned this one.
Yeah.
Okay, common supplier and partition supplier. This is very important. Understand this thing, like this is the general issue comes here when you are working on this one. Whenever the logic is, whenever you create the supplier get created as a common supplier by default. Okay, and this supplier part you are seeing in here, it will only be visible. You will be able to search this supplier under this name only once when you have set up the partition data of the supplier. Okay, now here I will show you here. This how. Control X. I'm just going to put a back in here in the common. So this is enter in here. Now, this is a common supplier and this is your ID. Once you click on it, see this partitioned supplier. And when I click on this one, it's blank. Till the time suppliers this partition data, this here will be blank. You will not be able to search this supplier, or you cannot use this supplier for the downstream. So it has a more significance. Please understand this part, like it has a more significance from this side. Like if when you are creating the supplier for the first time, by default, it will be a common supplier and you will be able to use in upstream modules. Okay, sourcing, and you can like invite him an RFI, RFPs and all those things you can do it. No issues in that part. Okay, but if you want to use that supplier for the downstream, like PR, PO process and all, you need to have the partition data of that supplier. If the partition data is missing for that supplier, you will not be able to select that supplier for downstream process. Okay. Also, one more aspect in here. Let me show you this. If I create a partition data here and you deactivate this supplier for time being, this partition data will go away automatically. Okay, so this is a small thing, but it plays a very impact, like having a very high impact on the process perspective. And if you are going for a client side also, like, so these things will be like better to have a more clarification on these things. Otherwise, sometimes like it doesn't look good on that perspective. We are not like, these are things which you will definitely face because company are creating hundreds and thousands of suppliers. And these things generally happen that they miss the creating the partition data, or something are being missed, or they have deactivated the supplier and all. So in those scenarios, these things will play an important part. Now, let me see this. Action, edit. So here you can see this option also coming for deactivate. So small, like nothing much in here, it, like by mistake also people can do this. Okay. So edit in here, first of all. I'm going to create a partition supplier. So you can create new partition data, or if this is already linked with some other common supplier, you can link it also. Okay, so for example, like same supplier having the two IDs and all, so then you can link that common supplier with that one and having a partition data. But this is our new case, so I'm just creating a new one here. So when we talk about the partition supplier, okay, so these are the things you will be finding out in here. So as I mentioned, right, partition data is more focused and more from the perspective of downstream. So here, that's why you are seeing the first thing is purchasing org. When you are creating the PR, POs and all, the purchasing org needs to be defined, and like the person that you can create, this supplier can be used for a particular purchasing org, right? So these things you need to set it up in here. Okay, and you can see this is the P realm, partition realm. Okay.
Jay, this is again from the the template, or it is the standard one?
No, this is standard. This is standard. This is standard. This is like we are talking about right now. We are talking about the core data, the data.
Okay. So, Jay, what is why the Ariba has created this partition supplier? Why don't we create one single ACM supplier? Why? Yes. What is the need of it?
The need of it is, right, see, when you have the partition data, so these information that you are referring in here, right, purchasing org and all those things. And apart from this one, the features of sending the purchase order, how the purchase order needs to be sent to the supplier and all, those configuration, those setup is required only for what perspective? Downstream. You are not sending any purchase order and all, right? So for configuring those perspective and all, that is being set up in here. That's why you need of this one. So here, if you see this supplier location, if I create a new location in here, you will see this preferred ordering method, fax, email printing, how the PO will go to the supplier. If you have any electronic ordering method, all these things.
So you mean to say configuration for the downstream is being done here, huh?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So the segregation is there for the upstream, as I mentioned, right? So common supplier is for upstream. And if you want to use it for the downstream, then you need to have it in here for this partition data setup completely. Here, even here, you can see the Ariba network ID comes into the picture, right? From the upstream side, you will be able to use that ID, and that is in the background. Like it's there in that one, but it's not in the upfront. Here you can see this Ariba network ID comes here at the profile here and the supplier profile. And from here, you will be setting up the TRR, the trading relationship request. So basically what happens is without setting up a TRR, you can use the supplier for upstream. You can do RFI, RFPs with the supplier. But if you want to use the supplier for downstream and all, then you need to perform all these activities in here.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So for now, what I'm going to do is like I'm just keeping okay for now. And let me show you first other things. Then I'll do this one. Okay. Okay. Let me just put the name in here. Jay Kumar 38. Okay. Now here you can see this supplier location coming in here. Okay. I'll be editing later on. Okay. And I can click OK in here. Now, so you can see this partition realm. P realm is created for this one. So partition data is here now, and I'm going to save it. Now, if I go here, Jay Kumar, control copy, and if I just, control X, I'll just list all. Okay, so here, now I'm going to search here. It will come. Search. See this? Now it is coming in here. Okay, so now what we have done is we have set up the partition data of this supplier. That's why we are now able to see this. Clear? Any doubts in this one? Anyone? Like, so understand the main, like the purpose of it, the logic behind this, like the common supplier, what is the significance of the common supplier and the partition data, partition supplier, right? So it will help you to have from the downstream perspective to use it whenever. So generally people like to test sometimes, like the customer also like that way, they try to test your knowledge. They will ask you these kind of questions like, what are you doing with this one? If I want to have this supplier only or for the upstream, I do not want for the downstream and all. So that kind of thing happens. Like, so these are some practical examples that we face when we go for the client sites, right? So from this perspective, you can explain these things, and you can explain like this is the requirement from the common supplier for the upstream side, and you can have the partition data to use for the supplier from the downstream side. When you are setting up the downstream side, you will be setting up the other parameters also, like how the ordering method will be there, the ANID, the purchasing orgs, and all the data which is more relevant from the perspective of the downstream.
So can we do it for mass suppliers?
Yeah, so this consolidated file is there. You load it file, the data already get updated in the system. So here, as I said, right, so this is here, data import export. So from here, you will be using the supplier consolidated file where you can see location. So I just downloaded this one, right? Location file. I think I downloaded this folder where I just showed you, right? In this one, if I open this one somewhere, I think, I'm not sure I opened this one. See here, it is supplier location. So if I open this one, CSV file, so see this. So in this one, you will see this, like all the other information comes in here also, purchasing org and all, street address and all. So you will be using this one. So this is the complete file. You need to load it when you are loading into the ERP system. And once you load this one, it will come in here and it will set up there the common supplier and the master, like the partition data of the supplier. Okay, so these things are there in this one. So like data load is like, you can see like everything is there in the data load. That everyone, right? You guys are already know that part. But yes, if you want to load something in here, then you can load it directly from here also. Clear? Any doubts on this one? Any questions on? Yeah.
What's the format of the that file? Because if you mix up the fields, 1 or 2 fields here and there, it will not get uploaded.
Right. So basically, there are 2-3 things that you need to always check it whenever you are loading anything. Like, so this is not just for this file, it's like any file that you are loading in the Ariba system, right? First 2 lines, you need to never change. What best is first download some file. Like this is what, like we can say, like I can say like what I'm using it. I'm not saying like this is the very best method, but yeah, this is what we generally do it. If we want to load something in the system, first we export the file. We export, once we exported this kind of data, we get this kind of a file, right? And if I need to load the same data, what I'll do is I'll remove other data from this file, and I just keep these first 2 lines as it is. I never change these 2 files because the first is the encoding type. UTF, Unicode, some coding is there. This is something that UTF-8 should always be there. Whenever you are loading the file into the Ariba system, this encoding should always be there. This is some standard. Like for example, like Excel file, ppt, .xls, .dox, right? So this file are .csv, comma separated value.
So can we edit the CSV files using the Excel? Maybe there might be some issue.
Yes, we can do that, but yes, as you said, right? So there can be issues. Sometimes like the data loss happens and all. So, but yes, whenever you try it, see here it is. If I save this file, right? So if you see this, save as. So already by default it's a CSV file. So this way you can save it and you can choose the extension type, whatever you are looking for. So CSV is coming here. So even CSV, you can see this Macintosh, MS-DOS, and other, I think these 2-3 things are there in this, like here it is CSV, comma, delimited. So generally we use this CSV, comma. If you use this MS-DOS one, it gives a little different encoding. Okay.
But there must be a separate editor for the CSV files.
Like, see, I'm not like, see, generally we always use this way. Yes, definitely. So the preference is always given that whenever you need to refer that CSV file, always use the Notepad. Notepad++ or Notepad, like normal Notepad. That is always recommended. So here, if you see this, if I go here, Notepad. So Notepad if I click, Notepad++. Okay, let me see this. No in here, close in here. So if you see this is already, I have a commodity file in open here. And if I click on this encoding, see this UTF-8. So even if you load some file with UTF-8 BOM encoding, it gives error. Okay. So these things are like, see, these are a lot of small things are there. Like generally you will understand gradually when you keep on working on these things and all. I can show you some of the information that we face regularly on this one. But yes, every time when you're loading, you might be facing something different, little bit different issues and all. So you need to might hit and trial and all those things you need to perform, and then you need. But here, this is, you can see this encoding is coming UTF-8. So generally, the always suggestion is open the files in the Notepad++. If you want to check something and all, you will always refer this one and all, then you can do that before loading. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I think that's all for the day. We'll continue tomorrow from here only. Like we'll be continue filling up this information of the supplier in here, and I'll explain some of the more aspects and some of the more functionalities of this one. And then we'll move ahead for the qualification and all. And then I'll show you the some admin part of also for the this one for the supplier side. So I'll try to show you maximum as it is possible from our side. Okay. And then we'll continue on that part. Is that okay?
Done. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. And we'll connect again tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.